The story started in 12th century CE when Kakatiya king Prataprudra of Warangal built a clay fort and named it Golconda, which means Shepherd's Hill. The kings of Warangal started loving the place because of its geographical location. They ruled the place for near about 200 years till the time Raja Krishna Dev handed over the fort to Muhammad Shah of Bahmani dynasty in 14th century CE. He renamed the fort as Muhammadnagar. They ruled the entire region for another 150 years. In early 16th century, Sultan Quli, one of the governor of Bahmani dynasty, took over Golconda Fort, and thus the Qutb Shahi dynasty started. After taking over, he demolished the old structure and started off building a new structure of granite and limestone plaster. It took around 62 years to complete the fort. By the time three sultans of Qutb Shahi dynasty died, the main trade of Qutb Shahi dynasty was diamonds. And the most precious diamonds of the world was manufactured here. I can only name few of them like the Koh-i-Noor diamond, the Hope diamond, the Nasik diamond, but just few names. Probably that was the reason Aurangzeb invaded Golconda in 17th century CE. But after the fall of Mughal Empire in 18th century, the glory of the fort faded away. Now, this was the history of Golconda Fort, as my guide explained me. I was impressed by the story, but wondering what was the special about the fort? Is it only diamond trading or something else? Now, the inner wall of the fort is 5 kilometers long, which covers the entire hill of Golconda. Now, within these enclosures, the royals used to stay. The outer wall is 7 kilometers, where the royal employees used to stay, and the extreme outer wall, which is approximately 14 kilometers, was for the commoners, and till date they live there. But I have seen bigger forts than this. And I have seen even better architecture than this. So what is so special about this fort? After buying the ticket, I was staring at the huge granite pale wall, and a thought really disappointed me, as there was no proper entrance gate. I walked till the end of the wall and found a huge gate made of wood and iron, and my mind boggled. I asked my guide why I was unable to see the gate from outside. He replied me with a smile. That is how the fort is made. Nobody can actually make out where the entrance is. Exactly from here, the surprise starts. After crossing the main gate, there was a portico. The guide stood exactly in the center and clapped. He asked me to count the echoes. It was exactly 7 times. And to my surprise, the guide told me all of them can be heard from King's bedroom, which was in the main palace on the top of the hill, and the distance will be around 3 kilometers. Also, the same can be heard from military headquarters almost 2 kilometers away. He stepped 3.5 meters back and again clapped. I was unable to hear any sound. He repeated this thing. I was dumbstruck. I also tried the same. This 5-kilometer long fort consists of several palaces, mosque, temple, courts, armory, kitchens, amphitheater, servants' quarter, bathing place, garden, etc. And all of them were equestically synced. The surprise just began. The air conditioning system kept me spellbound. As I saw an open area where diamond trading was done and was visualizing the crowded market, my guide tapped my shoulder. Come, I will show you something. There were several arches in a row. He asked me to concentrate on the upper wall. There was 2 pipelines. The pipes are made of limestone paste, one for cold water and the other was for hot water. The pipes were placed strategically so that in winter the place stay warm and in summer the place become cool. The place where I was standing was the accounts office and the entire structure didn't have doors. It is open from all the sides. I asked the guide, what about the privacy of the place? He told the entire place was covered by curtains, which was made with some special type of clothes. Special type? I questioned. He told yes, special type. The inner side of the cloth was see-through, but the outer side of the cloth was solid. I wondered what kind of cloth that could be. The next place where we stepped in was the court area. For a long time, I was observing the unsymmetrical arches. I curiously asked my guide, why are arches of all the buildings and all the structures are so unsymmetrical? The difference is not drastic, but it is noticeable. Why it is so? He took me to a corner of the court and waved the bottom of his shirt, and I was stunned by the velocity of the sound. It was like beating of a drum. I actually took a step back and he explained me. In this entire area, if anyone even rubs his hand, then also some sound will happen. This system helped the soldiers and the royals to keep eye on the outsiders. I was confused, trying to find out why and how this is happening. The guide understood my confusion and asked me to follow him. I was standing under a dome-like structure, behind which was the outer bedroom of the king and queen. He told me, whisper on one corner of the wall. I whispered, but nothing happened. All of a sudden, I heard a clear voice from inside the wall. I looked back to my guide. He was on the other corner of the wall. The moment I looked back, I was unable to hear anything. I again faced the wall, and the guide said, soldiers used to talk like this so that the king and the queen can sleep without any disturbance. But how this is possible? He told me to look at the ceiling. 24 diamond-shaped cuts. And this magic is happening because of this. I quietly followed him with a mind full of questions without any answer. We then went to the amphitheater. Though it is totally broken and in ruins, but the marvel of architecture is clearly visible. The entire wall of the amphitheater has small arches, and without explaining, I understood why it is so. Somewhere, I started thinking like the queens of Qutb Shahi dynasty. I told to the guide, oil lamps were placed in these arches. Am I right? Guide smiled at me and told me, "You're partially correct." I was little surprised. He told me oil lamps were placed inside the arches with a diamond fitted in front of them so that the reflection could brighten the place. Till the court, fire torches and the holders of the torches still visible on the wall. But after that, only oil lamps with diamonds were used. Now, I am getting used to the architecture and the engineering of the fort. Gradually, I am understanding how advanced sound physics were used, how the engineers used interdisciplinary science that deals with the study of all mechanical waves in gases, liquids, and solids, including vibration, sound, ultrasound, and infrasound. They did it all without any advanced machine or equipments. There is only one temple just in front of the main darbar, on the top of the hill, and from there the graveyard of the Qutb Shahi dynasty can be clearly seen. I traveled every nook and corner of the fort, and the question which was haunting me, how a fort, pillar to pillar, wall to wall, so synchronized, so perfectly built that no one can break the acoustic chain. And the biggest question was, why it was built like this? Why it need to be so secured? Just when I reached the exit gate, my diamond ring sparkled, and I understood why. But how is still a mystery. The entire way back to Hyderabad city, I only wondered how those people from medieval era built such a acoustic marble. The entire sound system of the fort comprises of sound echoes as well as amplification. They used materials such as clay pots and pans for construction. These have been blended with hardcore building materials such as stones. The next thing they did was the use of compression of sound. But the how part is still haunting me. I know I will never get an answer of what kind of machine and equipments were used, how the measurements were done, how the construction was done on such an uneven hill. It is always better to leave something unanswered, as that provides food for thought. Thank you so much. If you like my video, please like and subscribe.